All right.
We're live. We're back.
Good. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome home.
Good morning, James.
We are starting our new format today. We're going to do an hour once a week, whether you need it or not.
Yeah, really.
We'll be here. We got a good show lined up today. We got a lot of good questions, and we're going to do a demonstration.
Yep.
We're going to demonstrate how to do a podcast. Oh no, that's not it.
Ah.
So I worked at Cesar yesterday.
Yeah. How was that?
Since we opened up. It was slow, but it was fun. I saw a bunch of old customers that were glad to see us, and I ate some paella and drank some margaritas, so it was a good day. But we, it's been good. Business has been okay. It's up and down. One day's super.
I can't hear you anymore.
No?
James, here we go.
Okay. Yeah, so one day's really busy.
I can hear you. Sorry. Yes.
One day's really slow. You're frozen.
All right.
Are we having technical difficulties?
Yep. Let me change something. Okay, let me change something. We'll see if that works.
All right. I'm just going to change my mind.
Don't change your mind. Don't change anything.
So we, because we're going to do an hour today, I've got a bunch of questions lined up. And the first one is about equipment. But
I'm back.
He's back. We can't hear him, but he's going to go live in a second here. He's putting his headphones on, and he's back. Maybe not. Anyway, our first question today is about cutting boards. There's been a lot of controversy over the years about cutting boards, about what the best material is for cutting boards. And in the 80s, I remember when I was in the housewares biz, there was a lot of reports out that said that, you don't want to use wood because wood harbors bacteria and the stuff can live on wood. You want to use plastic. Plastic is the way to go because it's inert and nothing can live on it, and it's much safer to use. Well, this created a flurry.
Hello?
Yeah, are you back? Are you back? I can hear you. I can hear you thinking. I can hear a tick, tick, tick. Are you there? This could be a short show today. Or I'll just do the whole thing by myself. I don't mind. Anyway, after a flurry of sales of plastic cutting boards, someone decided
Hello?
You're back. Can you hear us or me? No. I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes. Testing. Cutting boards. Are you there?
Okay. So I'm here.
Okay, good. You can hear me?
Sorry. Yes. Okay, we're back. Whew.
Can you hear our audience? Can you hear all the applause and laughter?
I hear the clapping. There's a lot of clapping going on.
Good,
All right,
good.
guys, sorry. Okay,
well,
so
I was just telling everyone that there has been a lot of controversy about cutting boards in recent years, and
no controversies.
Back in the 80s, some people came out and said, "Oh, plastic is the way to go because wood keeps bacteria. Wood's not safe," and everybody was buying plastic cutting board. And then finally, somebody decided to actually do a little study and apply a little science to it. If this sounds familiar, let me know. But somebody actually decided to listen to the science. And the science is that wood is much, much safer. It plastic, you cut grooves in and the bacteria can actually live for a long time. The plastic's not as good for your knives. Wood is so much better for your knives.
Yeah, it's true.
Plastic's just better.
Yeah.
It's also good ergonomically. When you're cutting on wood, it's got some give, so it's not as hard on your wrists and your hands. There's just so many things about it that is better. And it's not to say that plastic is completely bad. It's not. The polyurethane boards are what's like this kind of board. You've got a white one there. I think what's great about these kind of boards is you can do a color coding system. So like this one we use just for raw meat.
Yeah, right.
So we cut up chickens on this and pork and whatever, and that's all we use it for. So we never cut vegetables. You think with green we would have chosen green for vegetables, but no, we chose it for raw meat.
Right, I know, right.
Because the fact is we cut our vegetables on a wood cutting board. So I'm all about wood, and but again, I think plastic's good if you want to keep certain things separate, because I do think it's a good idea to not cut your raw meat on the same board that you're going to cut your vegetables on.
In general, yes.
I mean, you can clean it thoroughly and it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, if you're working and you're preparing dinner, it's nice to be able to just keep
Not to worry
going.
about it.
So anyway, that's my thought on it. But again, the science says that wood is very safe, and
Yeah.
that, you know.
So wood is safe, and also wood and plastic are both safe. I got two for you guys. This is plastic. Those are pretty nice. They're not very pretty, but they're really good and they work really well. This is what we use here to cut any protein. All veggies are cut on a wood surface, which we have everywhere. I can show you here. This is my big cutting board.
Mm-hmm.
And
that looks like it's sugar maple.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the way I keep them is I put them on with a little wet towel here. So that doesn't slide anymore. You see, that is not sliding. This is important.
Yeah.
What I like about wood also, and some of the soft surfaces like the plastic, is the wood is very, very, it's alive. I mean, it doesn't live anymore. It's all dead cell, but
Mm-hmm.
it acts. It sucks the water out of the bacteria in a way by capillarity. So it's one way that's good for that. Also, when I put my knife in there, I don't know if I can see that, because it's a soft wood, when I'm in there, I'm in the groove.
Mm-hmm.
The knife does not travel all over the place. So it's really useful when you cut, you make really good slices because it's in a
Mm-hmm.
groove. It doesn't. So we don't want to use bamboo. No bamboo.
Bamboo's too hard.
And it's forbidden in professional kitchen anyway, so we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. But a lot of people buy it at home. You know what it's great for? Bamboo cutting boards are really pretty. Use them for serving cheese.
Yep.
Charcuterie board. They're great for that. Just don't use them for cutting.
All those guys. So I'm going to put that away because I am actually cutting on directly my tables, which are made of maple already.
Right. Okay, so
that's for your cutting board. And no ceramic, no hard surface, because your knives are going to suffer too much.
Yeah,
that's the point.
I remember years and years ago, somebody thought it was a great idea. They came out with these glass cutting boards, and everybody thought they were great because you could put them in the dishwasher and they were totally clean. They were the stupidest things I've ever seen.
Yeah, because you cut through glass. You literally cut glass out of the glass stuff.
Right, and you're
siren or whatever they call that. It's stupid.
And you're completely dulling your knives. It was a short-lived thing. Again, not a bad thing for serving. You know, put cheese on it, whatever. That's fine. But just stick to wood for your cutting board.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a question here from a student that is obviously trying to pry into your personal life. How do you channel your energy and artistry outside of the kitchen? Your creativity and your energy. What do you do to channel those outside of the kitchen? I personally just kind of stare into space until the next podcast episode.
Until the next ovni. What's ovni? Unidentified object.
Yeah,
UFO. UFO. Yeah.
I just sit here and tune out, and that's it.
What do I do? I work on recipes, work on ideas. I work on little movies. I mean, right now it's difficult because I'm actually trying to be productive, yeah, as much as I can, because my work is not happening exactly the same. So I make food. We have chefs that they work to make food, and I do. So I plan on my next adventure, not adventure compared to Kitchen on Fire, but what can I do in Kitchen on Fire to stay in the game? So that would be cooking classes online. We started to do those. It's a pretty complex stuff. I had to work on a lot of technical issues, which I'm resolving a lot of those, which are very cool. So now we have really cool online classes that are good. I have two camera that works. I have a producer that can do the show with me. So it's really good. I think also of my product. What product can I give to people to feel better? Right now, I'm working on an immune booster, which is basically a horseradish, ginger, pineapple mixture to boost your immune system, and also a tea. So stuff like this, fun stuff. Yeah.
You're way more productive than I am. I'm a big reader. I write
Or
every
read.
day.
Yeah.
I write. I'm finishing a book. I'm
Oh yeah, that's right.
essays. Got a
So
bunch of projects lined up for writing, so I'm doing that. And I help my wife in the garden occasionally, although she does most of the design and the delicate work. I do the heavy lifting. But the good thing is I get to enjoy it. I get to sit out there and enjoy the
right.
garden when it looks so pretty.
No, I have to be productive for my own mind, so I don't lose my mind and keep going. So basically, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, but you need to keep going. You can't stop, and whatever happens. I mean,
Yeah,
we'll see, but you can't just stop.
that's right.
No way.
That's right.
So
We're like
speaking of,
sharks. We're like sharks. You can't stop. If you ever stop, you'll die. You just have to keep moving forward.
is that what happened to sharks when they stop?
That's right. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Just like us. We're just sharks in the food world.
Food sharks.
So, what is the worst mistake you can make in cooking? That's an odd question because there are lots of mistakes you can make in cooking. But what's the
Oh
worst?
yeah, lots of mistakes, and also lots of people make lots of mistakes for the rest of their life. It's not like because you're a chef or you know how to cook that's it.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep making mistakes. It's okay. That's how you learn actually, and that a lot of new recipe comes out from mistakes actually.
Yes.
A lot of my recipes came out from mistakes.
Well, hopefully one learns from one's mistakes. And I mean, I've made lots of mistakes in the kitchen and I usually learn from it. I usually figure something out that I've,
Right.
too high a heat, to this, to that. It's hard for me to think of what the worst mistake would be in cooking. Like, I think overcooking things is a bad mistake because
Right.
you can turn a good piece of meat into a shoe leather if you cook it too long. Fish is really easy to overcook because it cooks so quickly that if you're not careful, and especially if you're doing it for the first time, you can really overcook fish in a hurry. And that's just sad
That's a
because,
problem.
yeah, undercooking is not as big a problem because you can always go
Yeah.
back and get some more. Um,
For the yeah. No, go ahead. I have a bunch of mistakes for you after that.
well,
Let me
I'm
find
trying to
something.
think of some. I think that I think not following a recipe the first time and just trying to improvise right out of the gate, if you're not used to that, I think is a mistake because you might come up with a new dish, but you might also just have a complete disaster on your hands.
Yeah. Oh,
Especially if you've got company coming for dinner, which is probably not a big issue these days, but eventually we will have people for dinner again.
yeah, I know.
Um, I almost lit the kitchen on fire once when I was trying to deglaze a pan, the pan caught fire and the huge flame went up, but it goes out pretty quickly. You definitely, when you have a fire on the stove, you don't want to throw water on it. That would be a
Right.
big mistake, because it's usually a grease fire, and water is not your friend in that case. The best thing you can do is, well, fire extinguisher ideally, but the best thing you can do if you don't have a fire extinguisher right there is to throw a bunch of salt on it.
So for my mistakes, I did, well, should I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. So for the mistakes, most of the mistakes people do is about forgetting things in the oven. No big deal, but it's something that happens a lot. And even some of my chefs, Chef Matt, that's his specialty, forget things in the oven, which is cool. No worries. It happens to anybody. So I have a timer in my head, so I don't do that anymore, but I've done that.
Is that what
The,
that noise is?
huh?
Is that what that noise is?
What? Yeah, my head. Yeah.
In your head.
Other mistakes would be to over salt,
Yes.
but under salting is happening way more than over salting. So under salting, people are so afraid of salting that they're gonna salt and then they're gonna stop, which is that's a mistake, because you want to salt enough so you can taste all the food. Also, salt is good for you.
Right.
Mistake that you do is basically, and then the mistakes would be happening a lot. I see when people make a mess on the table and there's knives hiding under stuff,
Right.
and then you grab something, you are completely messy, and you grab something and you're gonna cut yourself because that blade is like this, or weird position for the blade, which should not happen. I've
Right.
seen blood, I've seen blade, you see,
Yeah.
up
Yep.
in between whatever onions.
Yeah. Or worse yet, when they put them in a sink.
Right. So you can do that in the sink also. Another big mistakes people do, and this is something that it's very hard. It's when you have a hot something coming out of the oven and you leave that without a towel on the handle.
Mm-hmm.
I see that a lot. Okay. So basically, when you do something like this, when something comes out of the oven, it needs to leave with a new towel on it or next to it, so people can see. Anybody that comes, like you, even you, because you're gonna forget about it. You
Right.
come and you're like, oh, why did I put that towel here? Oh, because it's hot. No, I
Right.
know. I remember.
Yeah.
Uh,
What
uh,
else?
the biggest mistake that people do: make a new dish and invite people over. So
Yeah.
you don't do that. You really do not do that. You make that on the second or third try, then you invite people.
Right.
But you don't come out with a new dish and invite people, because for some reason it won't work.
Yeah.
And it's just too stressful. You want to enjoy what's happening, right?
Yeah. And just don't plan something that's beyond your capabilities. I
Yeah.
mean, even if you've done it before, if it's something really complicated and you're not super comfortable with it, I know you're trying to impress people, but it could end up being a disaster.
I'm not trying to impress people. Is that what you said?
No, you're not. I know you're not. And so far you're succeeding.
I have not impressed one person. It's good,
Yeah.
no? I mean,
Yeah. So, my first marriage was a big mistake.
oh yeah.
We didn't really do it in the kitchen, so I don't know if that counts.
You were married before?
Yeah. Yeah. But I've gotten over it.
Wow. Yeah, I got married too. Several
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
We all make mistakes.
I like my marriages. I had a good time, and I still get along with. No, it was good. It was always good. So nothing bad happened.
So, yeah, mistakes in the kitchen are just the fact of life. You have to live with it. You have to try to learn from it. Hopefully, you don't do anything that is going to endanger other people's safety and well-being, but
Why?
that happens too, and you just have to try to learn from that too. So there you
So
go.
We have a lot of mistakes, guys, to offer to you. We're gonna go little by little. Not everything today, but there's
Yeah,
a lot of mistakes. Remember, we were going to write a book
that's right.
on kitchen catastrophes,
Different catastrophes.
and then as we were signing our contract, almost our contract, are getting our contract done with what 10 speed it was, we realized that someone way more famous than us came up with the same exact idea,
Yeah.
right?
So I forget what we did. We had them killed. Is that what we did? No.
We had them, yeah,
But I
yeah,
think the book was already out, so it didn't matter.
and that ended up in a catastrophe, anyways.
Yeah.
So that was a good idea, but anyway, that book came out. Kitchen catastrophes. We
Is
didn't, we
that
didn't, we
the
didn't
title?
hear much of it, huh?
Yeah. No. Those kind of books are short-lived because
Yeah, it's fun, but it's yeah.
it's kind of people give it as a gift, but no one ever reads it. Yeah, they would have read ours though, because ours would have been brilliant.
That's true.
So I have another question. Again, this person is really getting personal, but do you consider yourselves omnivores?
Oh, um,
Personally, I don't think so because I'll eat anything.
uh,
We are a unique species in that we can eat anything, and then we can also choose what we want to eat. Especially in modern times, we can choose to be paleo, we can choose to be vegetarian or vegan, we can choose to eat ribs, we can choose to eat chicken, and we can just go to the store and buy it or go to a restaurant and have it, and it's pretty remarkable. I mean, most animals eat what they're designed to eat and what's available to them. Um, and we are a unique species in that sense. And we can even decide not to eat. You know, most animals, if they don't eat, it's because there's no food, and they try to eat as much as they can when there is food, so they'll survive during the period of no food. We can actually decide to fast. We can fast for days just by choice, which is an odd thing to
right. So omnivore really, it's I think people have a hard time right now because there's so many new thing about plant-based and stop eating meat and all this stuff. So omnivore, really, we can eat everything. This is in our DNA. So whether you like it or not, that's another subject. But the fact is, we actually can eat everything. We will not get sick from the food that we eat unless the food is adulterated, it's fake food, or it's
Mhm.
really, really cheap and mass product and full of toxins. Real food could be meat, vegetables, plants, dairy, whatever you want. If it's good quality, we can actually break it down entirely without getting sick.
That's right.
We're getting sick on fake food, anything that's been put together by a plant, by some weird factory. But if you eat food from a farmer's market, everything in there is good. And that includes the bacon in the farmer's market, the cheese at the farmer's market, all the veggies, all the fruits, the eggs, everything, all the bread, everything that they said the farmer's market mostly is really good. So whether you decide to not eat something or not, that is your decision and it's fine. And you can live well from whatever decision, but you can't force other people to live that because there's absolutely zero science
Right.
that proves anything. Zero.
Right.
Okay. Nothing is 100%. Nothing. But our DNA, if you look at the biochemistry, our DNA is made to absorb everything that we eat that is natural, everything 100%. So just be careful with that. Yeah, don't and you can see so many diets are being born every day. The good diet is eating good food. I don't
Hmm.
know how, like, I know it sounds very simplistic, but you know um, medicine was there before Western medicine was invented. Many books was written before Western medicine was done. There was very many great scientists in the world before Western medicine. All those were using food and herbs. Today's medicine is using herbs and spices and whatever. So you need to go back to the source. No more intermediate, no more middleman. Go from the source. Get the food. That the food is going to be your medicine. We're done with that.
Yeah. And I would say instead of worrying about what you eat and what your diet is, you're better off to focus on the quality of your food
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Really, really, really.
clean food that's, you know,
My God, it's like it's incredible. And you also you feel it. You feel good. That you don't get addiction. Like when you eat junk food, I don't eat junk food. I never ever eat something in a package. Never something that comes with a picture. So that's one thing I always do. Junk food will make you want more. This is not good. You should think about it. This is not good. That craving is weird. You should not have craving.
it's empty and it doesn't satisfy you in a way that real food does. So you
Right.
eat it, but then you just still want to keep eating more because it's just
Right.
something to do with your hands, something to do with your mouth.
So omnivore is really what we are, and there's no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the decision you make is different, but you can't say we're not supposed to eat meat or we're not supposed to eat vegetables. We're supposed to eat everything. We have really the enzyme to break down anything we want. Protein from any source, carbs, uh, even oxalates, little bit, and fats, whatever it is.
Right. So in other words, we're all omnivores. It's just whether we choose to eat one thing or another, but we all are omnivores.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're intended anyway. So the
Very
answer is
true, very true. Yeah. The
yeah.
answer is yes.
So, this actually is a good segue to another question that I've been looking at for a long time, and I've been avoiding it because I didn't want to get judgmental or anything. But
You
the
should
question,
be. You should get judgmental. Let's get judgmental a little bit.
all right, where's my gavel? The question is, what advice do you have for vegan home cooks?
Okay. So for vegan, I would say you need to make sure you get a lot of protein and you don't eat too much sugar. That's all. It's basically how it works. The vegan can get a lot of nutrients from, for example, one of the really, really amazing stuff is what is it called? Nutritional yeast.
Right.
Nutritional yeast is actually, it tastes good. It's super healthy. There's a lot of stuff in there, and there's your B12 is in there. Uh, there's a lot of cool stuff in that yeast. You need to eat also a lot of very fresh vegetables. So the
Mhm.
thing with vegan is you have to eat something very fresh so you get all the nutrients. So if the vegetables are older or they're not great quality, you won't grab that thing. That's going to be a problem.
Mhm.
So for the vegans, you need to add your nutrients. You're going to have to find a way to get your B12 in supplementation. I would urge you to get some choline. I know some people are against choline. I think it's ridiculous, but whatever. And you get a lot of folate, which is good. You need also that's also something that's very people are afraid of is like all your carnitine, all the good stuff that actually you get from the meat. You need to get those,
Mhm.
and that's going to be from pills. You need vitamin D and from the sun, of course, but also in extra you need and lots of protein. So proteins are great from, for example, I would suggest eat lots of lentils. Lentils is a fantastic way to get your protein.
Mhm.
And so there's protein everywhere, right? But it's basically when you eat meat, you get more protein faster. That's all. Okay. It's faster metabolism because the plants have already been processed by the animals. For the vegan, you can add. Unfortunately, the people that don't eat butter, they could benefit from butter. So I know vegan don't eat butter, but like for example, vegetarian people can really eat butter and cheese, and I will bring a lot of nutrients right away, which is
Right.
what I like. Now for the vegan, you can also do supplementation and eat vegetables that are very fresh. I would do lentils. The reason why I do lentils, I like lentils compared to other pulse or beans. I like beans. I like beans. But for example, to tell you something, chickpeas, which are really good, really, really good. Lots of antioxidant, lots of stuff, good amount of protein. Well, the exact same amount of lentils for chickpea, in the lentils, you're going to get, for example, twice the amount of protein,
Huh.
twice the amount of calcium, twice the
You
amount
have
of zinc.
to
So it's
combine
really
it
cool.
with do you have to combine it with grain like rice?
To get complete protein, you're gonna have to mix it with, for example, your rice. If you eat lentils or beans, because of one is missing methionine, one is missing
Hmm.
uh, I forgot. Anyway, so by doing complete protein, that's how it works. For the vegan, I recommend eating tofu, specifically tempeh. Tempeh to me is absolutely fantastic. There is twice the amount of calcium and protein as tofu. Tempeh is actually good. It tastes really good. It's the bean. And soy fermented is phenomenal food. So for the vegan out there, I would really know how to make tempeh all the time, because this is you guaranteed that you're gonna get a lot of nutrients, lots of nutrients.
And
Boom, just like that.
the difference between tempeh and tofu is that the tempeh is actually fermented, right?
It's fermented, which is that means you get also something very cool, which I really urge you to get, is vitamin K2.
Mhm.
It's the vitamin that brings your calcium into your cells from the blood to the cell. So the K1 is the one that the blood clots, that's your vitamins. And then the K2, which is only animal product, or I'm sorry, any fermented product, is your cheeses, your even anything that's fermented, your bread, your beer, but your tempeh, your sauerkraut. So
Mhm.
vegan needs to eat sauerkraut, absolutely, at least 2, 3 times a week. It's very important. And then lots of veggies, and it's really cool. And see how they feel. If they feel tired, maybe they need some more iron. That means they need to eat maybe more lemon with their vegetables to get more iron. And other than that, some people are fine. Some people don't do well, and some people do very well.
Right. I think the best advice you can give to vegan. I mean, if you're committed to living a vegan lifestyle, then you should be cooking your own food as much as possible, because
Yeah.
you don't want to rely on takeout food. You don't want to
And don't
rely.
eat fried food. Don't eat fried food. I've seen this restaurant. I'm not gonna name the restaurant, but I thought that was so disgusting. There was this vegan restaurant. Anyway, I'm not gonna. Yeah, it's all fried.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, it's sugar on sugar and sugar. It's disgusting. You can't eat that. I don't care if it's vegan. It's disgusting. It's like fried whatever chickpea stuff with a bun, and oh my god, this the amount of sugar, and it's crazy. No, if you want to eat your vegetables, eat a lot of vegetables and beans and lentils and tempeh and almond milk is fun. There's a lot of things you can do. Okay, we do vegan classes uh,
Yeah.
because I was surprised of how not interesting the food was. So I decided to do my classes, because even though I'm not a vegan, I thought vegetables are so beautiful and amazing and stuff. I don't see how you cannot make awesome vegan recipes. I
Yeah.
make vegan cake that are awesome.
Well, we had a quote from somebody that said that he thought vegetables were very important, and like, so that's why he eats carrot cake, banana bread. Uh,
Banana bread.
just named all these baked goods that are made with vegetables. But
Oh, yep. Wheatgrass. So wheatgrass is really cool. Yes, actually, thank you, Mr. Michael. This is a way to improve your nutrients. Thank you for that point. Wheatgrass is really amazing. What I like a lot is moringa. I like spirulina, all this stuff, chlorella. This is very important for vegans. Absolutely. And there's a lot of protein in there also. For example, moringa, stuff like goji berries have a lot of protein. There's a lot of stuff that are really good for vegans. Yes, yes. Thank you, Michael. Spirulina is one of those really amazing food. Uh, this is good. Wheatgrass is fantastic. Also, it's sweet. So there's wheatgrass, and then there's spirulina, and then there's stuff that come from the sea, algae, and then there's that. So they're both really good. They both do different things. Some people say this is better or whatever. They're all good. I would say always, in my opinion, alternate. Don't eat the same thing over and over, because your body will reject it.
right.
So that's the thing. You need to eat stuff kind of.
Plus, it gets boring. You know,
It gets
you're
boring.
not likely to stick to your regimen if you get bored with what you eat every day.
Yeah.
Um, I would say if you want to be a vegan, you should go find some good vegan cookbooks, and maybe I'll show some books on the show one day. I'll get some good
Yeah,
We have
there's some good stuff. And the
vegan.
thing is, the funny thing about vegan classes is in my vegan classes, may have one or two vegans only,
Yeah,
which is really cool. That not it is cool that I have only one vegan. What's cool is all the other people wants to learn how to make vegetables.
right,
Yes, yes,
right.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, if you want to eat meat, you need vegetables. And
right.
I know not everybody agrees, but I tell you, if you like meat like I do, not a lot, but I need vegetables with it.
Yeah.
That's how I'm not gonna get any of the thing that people are saying for the all these stupid studies that talk about TMAO and TOR, mTOR, and what else? It's so stupid. If they look at the chemistry and really what's happening, you need to stop using big words that you don't understand, like TMAO. What is that? mTOR. What's the last one? Also, there was mTOR and
Oh, I don't know.
some weird stuff that you see online that people say, when you eat meat, you get no, 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 no. When you eat meat in a burger, that's crappy meat that you eat at McDonald's and Burger King and those, I don't touch that. I don't eat meat from a sick animal. Would never do that. My mom would never do that. So
So
we
you
eat
don't eat, so you don't eat roadkill then, is what you're saying?
that actually I could because it
I eat
but
roadkill if I hit it myself. If I just find it, I
right.
leave it alone. But if I hit it with my own car, then it's safe. Um, when I was in college, I knew a lot of people that became vegetarians because it was the thing to do. But I kept noticing that they all went to the same little fast food sandwich shops, and
Uh,
they just ate big white rolls with cheese, and maybe there was some shredded iceberg lettuce on it. But that was kind of their diet, and they just thought, well, as long as I'm eating, it's
yeah,
vegetarian.
yeah.
Good.
So you have to be careful with your sugar. The
And
sugar
they
is
all
the
looked
first
a
thing.
little pasty, and they just didn't look very healthy. They were always getting sick. They always had colds and sore throats because we were in the theater, so they were always having trouble with their throats. And
Some people do very well with it, Chef James. There's some people don't. So they have to be smart and recognize what's happening.
but that's what I mean. You can't just eat bread and
Yeah.
cheese. You need to eat vegetables, and that whether you're vegan or not. I was a vegan. I mean, I was a vegetarian for a short time when I was a teenager, in the end of my teens for a few months, and I had appendicitis, and I had to be in the hospital for a couple weeks.
I had two. I had one at 2.5 years old.
And I told them that I was vegetarian, and they didn't know what to do with me.
Right.
I swear to you, they brought me cheese sandwiches 3 times a day, and it was just like white bread with a slice of cheese in it and maybe some mayonnaise or something. And they brought me that 3 times a day because it was all they knew to give me. They just didn't know what you would feed a vegetarian. And I never saw a vegetable that I knew of. Maybe a salad once in a while,
Right.
but
Oh no, it's crazy, huh?
so you really have to
In
take
France,
care
it
of
took a
yourself.
long time to understand.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
People were like, "What?"
now vegetarianism and veganism are pretty mainstream. I mean, there are tons of restaurants, there are tons of books. It's much easier to do today because the
Yep.
ingredients are available and they're
Right.
better stuff.
Yep.
But also the vegetarians I knew ate a lot of junk food, and
Yep.
they thought they were
Yep.
still being healthy as long as they weren't eating.
Exactly.
And I said, junk food,
So
food.
if if I was a vegan and I was really looking into really make sure my health is 100%, I would allow myself to eat clams. I know I said that before, and I'm sure some people must not like that, but I would allow myself to eat clams and maybe a little butter and maybe a little that's it, and maybe a little cheese. But I know
Maybe.
it's I know it not, I know I understand it's not vegan. So the thing with some of the vegan, they do it by social. How do you say that? Because of the trend, not the trend. It's because it's
Well,
social. It's a
right.
problem. You have to look at how actually small farming is actually crucial. There's a huge article that came out. I have a big data on actually growing vegetables for vegan kills more life because of all the worms and the insect and all the birds that disappear when you do monoculture.
Hmm.
So this is something that has to be taken into account. You need to look at the real data and not look at the data that's been promoted. The data that exists is the more vegetables monocropping we do, the more we lose animals. That means the worms that are crucial for anything that is a cycle, the birds, the insect, all the thing is all gone. And
Right.
then you end up with a very, very poor soil that cannot live. And you
Right.
grow those vegetables that don't have much nutrients, and you keep doing that. As when you have cows or goat or worms, insect, this is how you recycle. There's a bunch of stuff going on. This is super important. So whether you eat the animal or not, you need them.
Yeah, my favorite way to eat vegan food is alongside a steak.
Yeah.
That's fine with me.
But otherwise, get your lentils. And you notice something also in India, they eat lentils with ghee. Very
Right.
important. In ghee, there's a lot of nutrients. So
Yeah.
it's a personal choice.
Yeah. Yeah, so just make sure you're getting a wide variety of foods. Don't eat junk. No one should eat junk food, but
Yeah.
you certainly shouldn't think you're getting your.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vegan snack food out there that's just junk food, and
Yeah. No.
just avoid it. So I saw there was an article in my news feed today about
About me?
these were like there were like 7 or 10 things or something that you should be cooking at home right now. And so I was curious to see what they were going to say. So I looked at it, and it was actually a pretty smart article. There was things like sourdough bread. What were some of the other things?
Yeah.
Oh, stock. They were saying, yeah, you should be making stock. Everybody, you shouldn't buy stock. It's too easy to make. But one of the things that that I thought was smart of them was something that we're going to demonstrate today, and that
Yep.
is pickles.
Pickles. Great. All right, for the pickle. So I'm going to do a very easy, quick pickle. I'm going to show you.
Also, people think of pickles, they think of just pickled cucumbers because that's, I grew up thinking that's what a pickle was. A pickle was a pickled cucumber
Right.
sliced up in a jar, but you can pickle any kind of vegetables, pretty much. And Olivia is going to show us how.
So first, I have some sugar. I'm going to show you. Whoop. Sugar, salt. I'm going to add some fennel because I like fennel. I really like fennel. I'm going to add a little cumin, whole, everything whole. Okay. So however you want, guys. This is no, I don't, I can show you a little recipe that I made. Maybe I'll show you that. Let me show you my recipe. It's really simple, huh?
Is this recipe going to now appear over my face? Oh,
Yeah.
good. You're on the side.
All right, and I added to that. I added my spices. So let me show you my stuff. Okay. All right, here we go. In there, I'm gonna add about a cup of rice wine vinegar. Okay, about a cup roughly. It doesn't matter.
And you can use regular white wine vinegar.
Let me talk about that in a minute.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get that to boil, to simmer. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get that melted. Meanwhile, I'm gonna cut my onion. All right. Can you see what I'm doing, chef?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you want me to go on the other camera, or that's too?
Oh, we can see what you're doing.
Okay. Cut them. Cut both ends. Okay. And then come straight down.
Uh-huh.
And while this is cooking, I'm just going to dump it in there, in my liquid. 5 minutes. I'm sorry, 10, 15 minutes. What do you think? Pretty easy, huh?
Pretty easy so far.
That's it. That's all I have to do. I have to slice them up. I'm going fast because I don't want to, you guys don't go fast. And what you want to do, guys, you want to look in there. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. I want to make sure that the onion is submerged into my liquid. Yeah, look it, very good here. Okay, so it's all submerged pretty much. I'm gonna add a drop. All right, done. I'm gonna bring it to a quick boil. So keep that. Make sure you see what's going on.
Now, this is a method that in Spanish cooking, this would be known as escabeche.
Ah, yeah.
You're cooking something in vinegar to preserve it and make it yummy and edible.
So as soon as it boils, I'm gonna reduce and cook it for 10, 15 minutes. Cool, done. And pickles are gonna be ready. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. These are great to go alongside charcuterie,
Anything.
or to go on a salad, or to go next to a piece of meat. Pickled vegetables are great with almost anything.
So
You can do other vegetables. You can do pickles. I mean, carrots. You can do.
You can do carrots, beets, jalapenos, cauliflower. I put cauliflower in mine usually.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's really good because it allows you to eat really good food all the time. And for kids, it's fantastic because kids love pickled stuff, and they'll eat all this like crazy. So carrots are good. You need to cut them in sticks. Beets for that, I get yellow beets because if I get red beets, it's gonna go everywhere. Okay, it's boiling. I'm gonna reduce to low and let them sit in there.
Nice.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, very cool.
By the time the show is done, the pickles are going to be done. That's really cool. So pickling is really amazing because you're using. So let's talk about vinegar for a minute. You really want to use vinegar that's been made from wine or rice or something, not alcohol. The alcohol vinegar, or what is this called? Distilled vinegar.
I mean, distilled vinegar. Yeah, no,
This is for cleaning.
that's for cleaning your windows. Yeah,
And I know some people use it for making. I know a lot of restaurants that use that for pickling. It's not great
no.
because the vinegar is not great quality to eat. It's the same chemistry though. It's an acetic acid. Except where it's come from, I like my rice to ferment the wine, or I like the grapes to become that vinegar. I want that. Okay,
I think a vinegar, you should be able to take a sip of a vinegar and not, you know,
not
fall on
die.
the floor. Yeah. I mean, vinegar
So
should be good.
so for the vinegar, this is important to use a pretty good apple cider vinegar is great, except it's very flavorful. Okay,
Yeah.
so you can use that. It's a lot of flavor. And when you cook it, you're gonna lose some stuff. So what I do is also another way to do this is to bring all the vinegar with the spices without vegetables to a boil for like 2 minutes with the spices and everything and the sugar, and then off, and then pour the vinegar on top of the vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
That works really well too. Now, pickled vegetables are amazing because they retain a lot of the nutrients. It's really amazing food. It enables you to eat vegetables raw, and onion particularly are very difficult for a lot of people. They have a hard time. It's very hard. These guys are going to be really good. They're going to taste really good, and you're going to be able to eat those. Onion particularly are called prebiotic. Prebiotic is food for your probiotic, and you need to believe me now. You need a lot of those things right now, right?
Right.
Probiotic, you need your guts to be, and onions are one of the top food. Artichoke, onions, apples, all vegetables mostly, but those. The other thing
And
I want to talk about, sorry, James, vinegar. A lot of people clean their boards with vinegar. This is now to clean, we only use distilled vinegar. Never use apple cider vinegar or a vinegar to clean your tables because that has a lot of bacteria in it.
hmm
So apple cider vinegar would be a terrible idea to clean your board. Distilled vinegar would be a good idea, except it does not kill 100% of the virus, but a whole bunch of them. So it's a good way to actually clean that without too much stuff going on. But it's not 100%. But I'll tell you something really true. There's no 100%. So you need to like understand that. I know the people we have to clean everything and how our hands and everything with what's going on right now, but it's impossible to do 100%. So do as much as you can, but eat good food because those bacteria in there are going to fight for you.
Right. And the wonderful thing about this is it's sort of the next best thing to eating raw vegetables, but it's really even
Yeah.
better because it does break it down a little bit.
Yep.
And especially with onions, it kind of mellows the onion out a little bit. It takes
Totally.
away some of that harshness of the
So
onion.
I shut it off. I'm happy with it. So it's done. Okay. So all you
Now,
need
if
to do.
you're going to store that, if you're going to put that in a jar to keep in the refrigerator, you'd pour the whole thing in there, right? All the
Yes,
vinegar,
but
vegetables,
that has to sit outside until the steam goes away.
right.
Then you put them in the fridge for a couple hours.
hmm
Then you put the lid on. You cannot put that lid for hours and probably tomorrow. So if you want that to stay, you put that into a jar, leave it outside. When the steam stops after maybe an hour or whatever, really cool. When it cools down, put it in the fridge without the lid. Then tomorrow put the lid on.
Yeah. And they'll keep for what? A couple of weeks, a few days.
They'll keep a long time. I don't know. They'll keep a long time until it. I mean, it's almost impossible to go back. They'll go back eventually. I don't know how long.
I mean, we make them at home, but we eat them a lot, so they
Yeah,
don't stay
right.
in the refrigerator that long.
Yeah,
The most they last in our house is a few days.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
You eat them. You eat them, and you make. You see how fast it is. 5 minutes. You can do that.
and so if you're trying to store them for several weeks, you're probably missing the point. You should be eating these. The whole point of making them is to eat them because they're good for you.
Agreed.
They're good for you. They're delicious. I
But-
love pickles on a charcuterie board. It's so fantastic
Oh man,
to eat
yeah.
like that. Um,
And you know what? I love. I do a lot of frittatas.
oh, they're
Of
great with
Spanish
ricotta.
tortilla, frittata. That's how we eat. We eat
Yeah,
those onions with tortillas all the time.
yeah. Also, some pickled jalapenos are really good with that. I
Yeah,
love those on
jalapenos.
sandwiches.
So you can put jalapenos in your pickles if you like spicy. Yes.
Yeah, well, which I do because I'm a
No, but I mean,
spicy kind
it
of
gets
guy.
spicy. That's why. So be careful. So you can
Right.
use anything hard. Don't put zucchinis. Don't put anything wet in there. And the cucumbers should be
No.
separate from all your pickles. You can't put your pickled cucumbers in the same batch. This is separate. They need to do it to be done differently, anyways.
And you need to do the pickle or the cucumbers whole, right? You don't want to slice those
You
up
can
because they're
slice
too
them, but you
soft.
have to no. You can slice them, but then you have to salt them first. Let them sit for about 10 minutes. Then you can pickle them. That will hard. That will keep that pickle hard.
Uh-huh.
If you don't do that, they'll get soft and all soggy. So it's a different
And
process.
yeah, and it's probably a good idea to do if you're going to pickle any chilies, is to do them separately by themselves. That
Right.
way, people can decide whether they want spicy or not.
Yeah.
Have one jar full of vegetables, one jar full of peppers,
And you
and
can.
you're ready to go.
So I told you I make food for people with cancer, and one of the things that I really, really, really love, and I think it's very good, it's a pickled Brussels sprouts.
Oh, never had
Pickled
those.
Brussels sprout is absolutely incredible food. Obviously, I have a really good nutrients in there that's anti-cancer property, but also it's super good. And it's a way to eat raw Brussels sprout, which is very hard to do, but pickled is actually pretty good.
Do you slice them in half?
Yeah, half.
Nice.
Super
Oh,
good. It's amazing.
try that.
It's actually amazing.
I love
Uh,
Brussels sprouts anyway, but I've never had
yeah,
them. So I'm
it's
gonna
one of
have
the top food for cancer.
Uh-huh.
It's not a healer. It doesn't take cancer away. And when every time I say that, guys, it doesn't mean that when you eat food, cancer goes away. It's part of the healing. It's part. There's many. It's a multifactorial thing. So there's a lot of things that intervene. But good food is principle. It's primer. Yeah. James,
Very good. Yeah.
we did our hour almost, huh? Good job, man.
Yeah, our new format, once a week. We might add another one a week if we think we have something good to talk about. We'll let you know.
If anybody listens to,
Otherwise, we'll be here every Monday at 3 o'clock.
yeah, I think
And
that's great.
we've got lots more questions. We're going to start doing more demos,
Yeah.
and I can't wait till we can both be in the kitchen
Oh,
together.
I
A
know.
lot of cool stuff. Excuse me.
Whoa.
I want to do stuff about cheese. I want to do charcuterie boards. I want to.
Oh yeah. How to display,
So,
how to make a nice cheese plate would be a really good one, James.
yeah, yeah.
We'll get some cheese. We'll show them how to cut, to present. Let's do a presentation plate of cheese. That's cool. Well, let's see
Yeah,
what they want actually.
maybe we'll do that next week. I can do that from here. I can do cheese from here.
Yeah.
You can do stuff there. Save those pickles. Pickles are good with cheese too.
Yeah. Very good.
I love cheese and charcuterie boards because they require no cooking at all,
Well,
and
it loves you too.
you can put this stuff out. Everybody loves it. You can sit there out on the table for a while. It's great with wine. Just need some good crusty bread, maybe some crackers. Great stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that next week.
We'll see.
But we will be back next
We
week.
will be back next week and every Monday. If you guys have suggestions, you just leave them into whatever that little box. Otherwise, we'll keep doing our stuff. Cool.
Is there a little box? Is there a little box there?
You know, on the messages, they can put stuff and I can read them.
Oh, private chat, live comments. Oh,
Like this guy.
Oh, he started growing wheatgrass. He said that already.
Well, he added wheat in front, but I know this guy. He's growing grass.
Yeah. That's a whole nother subject. We'll have to do that one too. All right. Well, good
All right.
stuff.
So next
Thanks
week,
for the pickle demo for us.
yes, you're welcome, James. Next week we need to have the subject of the week after. We need to think of this.
Okay, we will do that.
All right, people, that was great. Thank you so much for coming today, James. Thank you. It works very well. I like this new format. And
Everyone,
ah,
I said be safe, everyone. We will be back next Monday, and we'll talk a little bit about cheese again. I want to emphasize again, it's now a great time to buy artisanal cheeses because those cheesemakers are hurting really
yeah.
bad.
Oh my God.
There's so many food producers out there now that are hurting because the restaurants are all closed. So that was a big source of income for them.
Yeah. Same with vegetables and everything else. Yeah, it's crazy.
And especially if you're a cheesemaker. I mean, it's one thing if you're making donuts, but
Right.
if you're making cheese, you got to milk those animals every day, whether
Yeah,
you're
right. Yeah.
for it or not. So it's important for people to have an outlet to sell their cheese. So
All
go to
right.
your cheesemonger and buy some cheese. Do it today. Do it as soon as the show is over.
Yeah.
All
Don't
right.
even wait for the show to be over. Just go. All right, people.
All right. Thanks for joining.